Androgynous tonight's broadcast. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit different. Um, I don't know, the word, I don't really dive into this very often, androgynous, or non binary. So, title of this kind of, so let's see that one of the reasons why the Anunnaki got, successful with humanity was I don't know if their complete understanding of it, but their connection with male and female as a non-binary being by being both sexes. Some of them, was with both. Some that had both genitals. It's all part of their evolution, our evolution, as you can see. They just had a better understanding of male and female, at least for our upbringing. Yeah, they're freaks basically. So, or well, they're not freaks, but I think they pushed it compared to others. They're just part of evolution. They're just part of their creation process is much different than everybody else's. So either way, they got a hold onto our world or our upbringing, because we could have just been a war planet altogether. It is a war planet, but there is peace here. It could have been just a complete war planet, and that was it. So it shows that the feminine is actually working here. It's the balance between male and female is difficult here, as you can see. That's what really this is all about. It's about balance. That's what all this, everything about being here is. Yeah, so we can all get along. Not just to say what's on your mind, but just just an equal opportunity for everyone. And we're just still getting to figure ourselves out, get to know each other, and bring out a new energy. So it's but the Anunnaki, at least my feeling on them, they don't go into it that deeply. A lot of them were, and androgynous beings. Um, doesn't mean they had both genitals. Some of them did, but they just had a more. I believe a lot of them had more of a feminine, like the male feminine, and the feminine had a, however you want to describe androgynous. But more of the males are very female-like, and the females are not exactly male-like, but not exactly female-like either. They go like a boy basically. So some around those lines. So of course some of the Anunnaki gods were more masculine, at least depicted by that. But that doesn't mean that they were completely masculine. Maybe in looks, but the way they were was probably much. They just had a more understanding of it. So I believe they helped a lot of the Atlanteans understand it too. I don't think they had the Atlanteans had themselves, they can figure themselves out. I imagine they had a lot of that within them in their own species too. But with the Anunnaki just had a better, I don't know what's better, but a more, like I say, more understanding. So, and we're just still figuring ourselves out. It's like they gave us a path, our lifestyles. You get work, and you feel like you want to be a fireman or whatever it is, and you just do the best you can. At least you have some kind of direction, even if you don't feel like you have no direction. They had to build an infrastructure for us to figure ourselves out. And you can make it better, you can make it worse, but you kind of have to go through the dark side and hit the light side. Of course, you can blame the gods all you want, and they pretty much understand that, of course. So we're going to go into Agartha once again. Might be a Garthian week. We'll see. I have an idea of what we're going to connect with on that. So, didn't have that set up right. All right, this is 720.com, my private sessions. Schedule When I channel Google Hands image channel on my phone. Shop, I think I'm on the 25th or 26th. Am I right about that? No, 18 or 19. I think I'm right now. I forgot. Same situation here. I have other channels and whoever's that do recommend social network, Rabbit, and let's see here. Yeah. Not that anybody needs any introduction. So, I believe a lot of Anunnaki beings look similar to this. Now, of course, you have Arcturian beings and Palladian beings and all that. I believe the Anunnaki took it to the whole new level. And models are mostly known to have this type of androgynous binary situation going on. So, kind of robotic in some regard. I mean, but it is very. It's a little bit of different species, but it's also Anunnaki. So, yeah. Dive in, it gets more and more bizarre. Okay. Probably do Anki again. Yeah. So, all right, blessings. Here we go. It might do, yeah, might be 3 beams. We'll see how things go. All right. Here we go. Greetings. This is Anki with Anunnaki. Greetings, your civilization. Yes, we learned much from your Martian connections. As we are connected to your Mars. We brought a lot of the Martian energies to your world to focus on it, to bring a more masculine. Actually, I believe some of you are aware. Your Atlanteans, yes, were very feminine. So it needed a masculine energy, and that came from your Martian. So, yes, we contributed to that. As we had a presence on your Mars. Yes, we're usually the schoolgirl on Mars. Anunnaki being is usually a male and female energy. So, yes, we're usually the weaker being normally. Of course, we became more responsible or became more, we'll call it responsible for your human, for the human development. We had to use a masculine energy to scare, to get things going here. To scare, yes. Well, basically, we had difficulties matching up the male and female genetics for you to be both, at least in a balance area. It was not easy, as you all have a little bit of both, as you know. Balancing the two, it kind of went haywire. As some are a little bit more too feminine or too masculine, it was difficult to have a true balance in between. So yeah, so there was a lot of wars during that process. A genetic war, even with the reptilians, as they felt that we went too far. We were doing things that your Atlanteans could never do. We learned from them, and we took it to a whole new level. And it caused a lot of difficulties. Humans had difficulty breathing in the beginning, and still have difficulties breathing this air of this world. So, and that contributes to some of your alien beings that don't like what we did. They want to destroy what we were doing. So that's why some people have respiratory issues even now, because you've had them in the past too. It doesn't mean that you're smoking a lot. It doesn't mean your air is being manipulated by beings that did not want this human experiment to continue. So we weren't just dealing with the human experience, we were also fighting other alien energies too. It wasn't all lovey. Uh, it was there was yes too many cooks in the kitchen, you can say. What we call is interference. We just did whatever we felt like, and many alien beings did not understand what we were doing. We weren't. I mean, it did look harmful what we were doing, at least in the beginning, bringing your genetic output together, basically designing the current human. But yes, we were attacked constantly. Eventually, it calmed down, but not in the beginning state. So yes, we were a little bit angry in the beginning, not towards the human, but towards it. Just was just a lot of stress. But this is something new, and even alien beings see something like this. It's like, are we creating a monster? Or are we creating something that's going to be useful to the universe? For a long time, it seemed like humans were non-important, but they don't realize it's not. It seemed like a very primitive race that had no purpose to exist, depending on the being that you're talking to. And the Arcturians wanted to continue. Yes, the feminine and the male mixing it together into a human genetics is very important. Of course, you combine to create a child, which is not always normal for a lot of alien species. Of course, for the human, it is. That's not necessarily how you had to have kids, though. But for your development, it was feel necessary to once again bring the male and female closer together. There's another thing why some males begin to become more feminine after a relationship, or even start wearing female clothing. Because they're finding their feminine side. Well, they don't know how to go about it, so they just some do it for depression reasons. Some do it because that's their identity. Some do it for a past life reason. There are some that absolutely can't stand us as a race because we fooled with their genetics so much where they felt like they were abnormal. A lot of humans were not genetically modified correctly in the beginning. So yes, it's one of the reasons why we're disliked. But it was an experiment where not all experiments went well. Yes, it was. It was not a pretty sight. It was not all pretty. No, there was a lot of mutations, and as there is today, as we were under figuring out the human genetics, because there was no roadmap. There was nothing clear of how to go about it. We had information from the Atlanteans, but not a lot. A lot of Atlanteans would not want nothing to do with us. We did have communication with some of them, but not all the knowledge. A lot of the scientists that helped develop part of development, of course, Anunnaki is a part of development of the human also. But a lot of the Atlanteans were gone. They're part of your human today, basically your main genetic engineering. So it was a hostile environment. So some of you are feeling this. Some of you felt like you were mutated in the past, and felt like we could have done more. And you probably were right, but we did not always do more to make things better. Sometimes we have to let a false genetics to run its course to correct itself. So you have family and children that they have health issues as they do now. A lot of your elite, your higher blood, well, you can call it higher bloodlines, but your more manipulative bloodlines, your Illuminati, they wanted to speed things up. And as they did, they messed up their own genetic lineage. They could have went about it better, but had to go slow. Basically, they wanted to be. They have like the God particle, you can say, the God gene, basically connected to their heart, the spirit world, more clearly. And they didn't always go about it in the right way to continue the genetics. as we had a way of now realize with us we were offering this to everyone, but they wanted it for themselves. And even some Anunnaki wanted it for themselves. So they cut the rest of the population off to be more psychically aware. Yeah, you can blame your elite for that. And that's where some of your Atlanteans came in and made that possible. A lot of them became pharaohs. So a lot of your land, yeah, your ancient Atlanteans became more of a like Ra is one of them, not Thoth, but Ra. Ra definitely is an ancient Atlantean. So yeah, they absolutely. I wouldn't say they hated us, but they were not. We were not on talking basis. They did whatever they felt like, but they wanted to show. So this is one of the reasons why Egypt is remembered and Babylon is forgotten. They wanted to kind of erase us from existence. We'll have some remnants of us, but once the human, once the the darker Atlanteans had what they wanted, they created your modern Egypt as you remember it. They took it over basically. Saw themselves as gods, worship as gods, did that. No, Egypt wasn't always like that, of course. That's where, but basically they were trying to erase, Mesopotamia off, from history. I mean, even some of the Greeks were told to do so also. So, not much we can add to that. So Egypt is your Atlantean root of your modern society. Of course, we developed a great deal of it, but of course, yes, and during Babylon, yes, there was a lot of technologies there. Yes, connecting to the stars. Everything was there that you have today. Not exactly, of course, they didn't have cable TV and things like that. But they did have advanced technologies for that time as their archaeologists are finding little remnants of little things here and there. It wasn't like super advanced, but it was, we had. We'll just leave it at that for right now. I think some of you can. So a lot of those inventions went to the Greeks. A lot of those Greeks had, they're known to have invented great, always have drawings and creations of things. A lot of the ancient Greeks were, erased from time. You can say erased from existence. So when the grandkids were trying to remember what was forgotten, they went in energy of basically more as when we were a part of your society. Yes, it was advanced to a degree, but a lot of it had to be forgotten. A lot of it didn't have to be forgotten, but it was kind of forced to be forgotten. Of course, the Egyptians had technologies of themselves, yes, with teeth and other things of communication, actually, also. You will realize this eventually. Not to say you'll be like your ancient Egyptian on a telephone, but your psychic senses were a lot more powerful back then than they are now. Some of you will remember that. To a degree, yes, your elite had a more powerful sense. Is another reason why they were called the gods. But many of your ancient humans still were very psychic. Over time, it started to die down as it was seen as heresy to have it. It was seen as the devil. They were afraid to even show their abilities. So yeah, they were wiped out. So yeah. And that's coming from your Illuminati energies. Some of them were Anunnaki, yes. Yeah, they dumbed down society on purpose for their own gain, control. Um, well, that's for another time. That's all I have for this time. Greetings. We are the tree people. Greetings to you. Your psychic sense, your awareness of your future. Yes, much comes from now. Timelines flow through the trees. They flow through the air, but also through the trees, through nature, through the sands of deserts. They all through Earth's energy. Timelines are actually quite small. It's just very like fabric, like dental floss, even smaller than that. It's just an energy field. Imagine you have millions or trillions of them flowing through you on a daily basis. That is a will to comprehend that as your future is right now. If you're building your future, so you are time travelers technically, because you're making your decisions now that affects your future. So you're actually more aware of your future than you realize. It is right in front of you. It is unconsciously with you, but it is currently happening at this time. The building of it, or destruction of it, depending on who you are. And that is the doomsday energy is yes from your lower dimension Illuminati, of course, because they want to snap you out of this existence. They want you to destroy yourself. When you put yourself into a depression where you're no longer here. So that is, and they use messages from the sun to manipulate humanity. They just want to feel like you're going to be destroyed one day. That seems like their favorite word. That doesn't have to be. So you're reversing a lot of manipulations coming from your elite. You even feel like some of your elite, yes, live in your sun. Yes, those are higher dimension beings with this. Yes. There's another reason why you have not found your Illuminati fully in their full form. They are everywhere, and you can. Many of you have been breaking out of their manipulations. You're bringing in new timelines from your. Many, some of it is coming from your moon. Your moon does bring out new vibrations. Your sun does too, but maybe bring it to the moon. Your moon is connected to multi dimensions of realities, and you're bringing it through yourself to the earth. Of course, everyone has their own ways of operating. The trees, yes, we download everything. You can say we're a bunch of know-it-alls, but we don't treat it that way. Some do because earlier, younger trees are known to be know-it-alls because they're trying to process all the information. So they just like to know everything and be the one that has the answer instantly. But it's exciting for them. After a while, they get so old, it's like, I don't care anymore. So, especially when after you live in this world for thousands and thousands of years as a tree, or millions of years for some trees, as a soul beings just stay there forever. They have other incarnations, other places, but a lot of them they. So some souls they have a contract with your world, just like your Mother Earth, from beginning to end. Yes, they can incarnate in other places, but they still have their vibration here. So some trees like, I've had enough of your world, and that tree dies. So, and usually it depends on the tree, but some trees have, yes, well, all of them, we all have multiple energies within us, but there's usually one main source for the tree itself, like the main soul of that tree. And it decides if it wants to come and go, if it wants a tree branch to break. Of course, others can be involved with that too. But there is usually so that each all of those are a particular soul. Each tree, each plant has its own. Of course, once again, just like you all have energies flowing through you, other guides, other sources. It's more particular within a tree because we're just energy. We always welcome other vibrations to connect with us. So we have conversations. They get our point of view of your civilization. If they like our point of view, is another thing. Some trees are irritated with humanity, but they want to teach it. They are teaching it, but a lot of teachings aren't being heard because a tree can travel through other realities and bring that knowledge here and bring. So they're kind of trees are like spirit guides to society, and some of them are burning out. It's like we weren't appreciated anyway. So feel our vibration. They show how powerful. Of course, they can reborn. And normally, the trees that are on fire, if they're not cut down, yes, they will instantly grow back. And it's just a rebirth. Those that are cut down, their contract is over with the earth. Now, some choose to end it early, and sometimes they take other trees down with them. So it's a whole nother world there. And tree people can, yes, they're just like you. They can roam around and live their own society. They just see things more, just very differently than yours. It's just like we're in a whole nother society. We can appear as human, void. It's just our knowledge. Our knowledge is sometimes too much because some of the trees act like humans. We've been around you so long, we copy, and sometimes it's a good thing or a bad thing. So why trees are even here? Well, it's for the spirit world to grow. They incarnate as nature. It's the easiest place to begin. Yes, you can start as an organism, but also as a tree energy. It's like and you learn from the elders that have been around forever. Yes, spirit world can incarnate through sand, through anything. So, yeah, spirit is everywhere. Actually, yes, they don't always want that out there, I guess. At least some don't. As you connect to this new reality, yes, your old reality begins to shut down. You'll see more of your tree people because tree people can appear as a person and then disappear. Like you're thinking it might be an alien, but it's actually because they've been here so long, they feel like they know you more better than anyone. So yes, your tree people, yes, are your spirit guides. So yes, you all have a tree as a spirit guide somewhere. Some have sand, some have air, some have water. Water sometimes is the hardest more than a tree itself. Water can be more, it absorbs more. True. And those that are swimming in the water, it feels the vibrations. They just enjoy that so much. They welcome people to swim in their energy fields. Happens all the time. It's always they just welcome new energies to connect with them. Especially out in the middle of the sea, where yes, they do mirages out in the middle of the ocean. Those are other dimensions. Those are ever different realities. As so does your deserts. Those places do exist. They just parallel Earth. Your China's opened up more too to this. Your people are allowing it more to come into your reality. So you can be, yeah, you can go and see the mountains and all of a sudden you see a whole different civilization there. That'll become more clear over time. First, you gotta become less afraid of tree energies and nature's energy. Then it become more obvious. Basically, as your reality now is breaking down, as you can see. Not fully, but it is breaking down for new ideas to come in. And yes, we have to put this out softly because some of this can be a little bit heavy because many are in the project or the program of your reality. And yes, we have to be careful of how it's just not, we can broadcast all this worldwide and it can terrify people. And you think your aliens are scary. What about a tree person that can actually talk and appear to you as a human? I think that would bring a lot of fear in society. So of course I call it rubbish for right now because you're bringing in different realities, and realities are endless of what you can do. Your limited reality is slowly breaking down. You're seeing it somewhat in your films, those in your movies. Some are want to break down your reality, give you something else to wonder about, and to get the mind to think differently. That shows consciousness is ready to think differently. as yes, your modern day. You're going to look at your modern day world as in your future. Look in your modern now is like, wow, we're just the most primitive. We're just so primitive. So we're just like cave people compared to where you're heading in your future. But this is necessary. It's like, why was I so slow as a human? Why not open up to this sooner? Just no reason for any of that. A lot of people are, yes, are having fun in this reality. They might complain about it all they want. A lot of them are enjoying every minute of it. And some of you are the other end of the stick of that. Just had enough. But these new realities come through vibrate. Basically, yes, through imagination, through fantasy, as some of you are feeling. You're bringing those realities here. It's becoming stronger among many of you. This place is no longer has its strength as it used to, as you feel. So yes, the third dimension is going to put out all the fear as it can to keep itself relevant. Fear of economy, fear of this, fear of that. And many are going to hold on to that because what they're used to. But the new energies are coming in, new realities, multi-dimensional realities where everything exists. Blessings.